Hello, this is Abhishek Mishra, Faculty of Social Studies at Mount Litera Z School, Jhansi. In this video, I am going to teach you Class 10th History Chapter number 2, Nationalism in India. In my last video, we had studied about the participation of the peasants and the business classes in civil disobedience movement. So here we are going to discuss about the limits of the civil disobedience movement. There were some people, those who were not interested in participating in the civil disobedience movement. So we are going to discuss the reason behind not to participate in the civil disobedience movement for such kind of people. Not all social groups were moved by the abstract concept of Swaraj. One such group was the nation's untouchables, who from around the 1930s had begun to call themselves Dalit or oppressed. For long, the Congress had ignored the Dalits for fear of offending the Sanatanis, the conservative high caste Hindus. But Mahatma Gandhi declared that Swaraj would not come for 100 years if untouchability was not eliminated. He called the untouchables Harijan, meaning children of God. So Harijan was called as the children of God by Mahatma Gandhi. See, there was an evil practice of untouchability and caste discrimination in our country. The high caste Hindu were oppressing the lower caste Hindu or those who were Dalits in our country. And Congress was also not favoring these Dalits. Congress was on the favor of high caste Hindu. What Congress thought that if they are going to favor Dalit, somehow, some way, they will depress the high caste Hindus. They will offend high caste Hindus. So, being afraid of this thing, Congress didn't support the Dalits. Now, what Gandhiji initiated, that if these high caste Hindus are not going to be tolerant with the lower caste Hindus, Swaraj will never come in our country. First, high caste Hindus and the Dalits should be united. When they will fight together against the Britisher, then only freedom can come to our country. Now, he organized Satyagraha to secure them entry into temples and access to public wells, tanks, roads and schools. He himself cleaned toilets to dignify the work of the Bhangi, the sweepers, and persuaded upper castes to change their heart and give up the sin of untouchability. But many Dalit leaders were keen on different political solutions to the problems of the community. They began organizing themselves, demanding reserved seats in educational institutions and separate electorates that would choose Dalit members for legislative council. Political empowerment, they believed, would resolve the problem of their social disabilities. Political participation and Dalit participation in the civil disobedience movement was therefore limited, particularly in the Maharashtra and the Nagpur region, where their organization was quite strong. So Dalits were in the favor that they should be given reserved seats and separate electorates in political organization. But what Mahatma Gandhi thought, that equal rights should be given to them. There should be no separate electorates given to the Dalit people. But Dalit thought something different for their political empowerment. And this made Gandhiji and Ambedkar being different in their views. What Dr. B.R. Ambedkar supposed, that he first made depressed class association in 1930, and this clashed with Mahatma Gandhi. What he asked a demand for separate electorates for the depressed class association that he made in 1930. Mahatma Gandhi was not in the favor to give this separate electorates to the Dalits. So when the British government conceded Ambedkar's demand, Gandhiji began a fast unto death. He believed that separate electorates for Dalit would slow down their process and it will lead to the disintegration of the society also. But when Gandhiji started a fast unto death, Ambedkar ultimately accepted Gandhiji's position, and the result was the Pune Pact of September 1932. Pune Pact was signed between Gandhi and Ambedkar in September 1932, in which reserve seats were given to the depressed classes, or you may say to Dalits. Now, the Dalit movement, however, continued to be apprehensive of the Congressed national movement. Some of the Muslim political organizations in India were also lukewarm in their response to the civil disobedience movement. Initially, at the time of the non-cooperation Khilafat movement, when Gandhiji supported all the Muslims, so that time though Muslims were in the favor of Congress, but from the mid 1920s, when the Congress came to be more visibly associated with Hindus, and when the non-cooperation Khilafat movement also declined, so Hindu were in the favor of Congress, but Muslims kept them separate from the Congress, and this worsened the relation between Hindu and Muslims. Now, the Congress and the Muslim League made efforts to renegotiate an alliance in 1927, and it looked like a unity could be forged between them. But when Hindu Mahasabha under J.R. Necker refused the demand for reserve seats for Muslims, it worsened the relation between Hindus and Muslims. Initially, Muhammad Ali Jinnah was ready to give up the demand for separate electorates, but what he demanded that reserve seats should be given to him in Central Assembly and in the Muslim dominated provinces. But when Hindu Mahasabha strongly opposed this compromise in 1928 under M.R. Jacker, so the relation between Hindu and Muslims got worst, and it created a condition of distrust among Hindus and Muslims. So here I am ending this video right now. Rest of the topics will be covered in my next video, and that will be the last video regarding this chapter. So goodbye, God bless you all, stay home and stay safe.